If you've ever heard a weird ringing in your ears and thought, oh crap, am I haunted now? Congrats, you've had a taste of tinnitus. For millions of people, this isn't just a one-off experience. It's a 24/7 DJ in their head who didn't get the memo that the party ended years ago. Now here's the thing. Tinnitus isn't some mystical curse or cosmic punishment for not wearing earplugs at that Metallica concert. It's actually your brain making up sounds, and depending on how you deal with it, it can be a minor background annoyance or a life-wrecking nightmare. James A. Henry in the Tinnitus Book basically says, look, there's no magic cure, but there are real science-backed ways to stop this phantom noise from running your life. And that's what we're diving into today. Let's start with what tinnitus actually is. The short answer? It's a sound that shouldn't be there, but is. Like when your fridge hums all night, only this time the fridge is your brain. Most tinnitus is primary, meaning it's just the brain misfiring. Sometimes it's secondary, caused by stuff like blood flow issues or muscle spasms. Either way, the noise is real, even if only you can hear it. There are levels too. Brief ear noise, like that high-pitched tone you get for a minute. Normal, temporary ear noise after a concert. Your ears waving a red flag. Intermittent tinnitus? Now we're in conditioned territory. And constant tinnitus? That's when it follows you everywhere. Even into silence, like an annoying sibling that refuses to move out. But here's where it gets tricky. Tinnitus sounds different for everyone. Some hear crickets, some hear humming, some hear static, and some unlucky folks get the full alien UFO soundtrack. Stress, diet, even your mood can make it worse. That's why two people can both have tinnitus, and one shrugs it off, while the other spirals into insomnia and anxiety. Speaking of spirals, meet Mary. She got tinnitus after a head injury and fell into the classic loop. Worry about tinnitus, notice tinnitus more, stress about noticing it. Tinnitus gets worse. Meanwhile, Raquel the violinist has tinnitus too, but for her, it's just distracting when she's working. Point is, how much it bothers you depends on the person, not just the sound. So what can you do? Well, there's no tinnitus be gone pill, but there are tools. A big one is masking, adding background noise. Think sound machines, hearing aids with gentle tones, or even just music in the car. Tinnitus gets louder when it's quiet, so silence is basically its favorite playground. And then there's therapy, not the tell me about your childhood type, but the kind that retrains your brain. Let's run through the big four options James Henry highlights. First up, cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. It helps you change how you think about tinnitus, so your brain stops treating it like an emergency alarm. You learn to calm down, reframe negative thoughts, and stop obsessing. Next, Tinnitus Retraining Therapy, or TRT. This one's about teaching your brain to ignore the noise. It uses counseling plus constant low-level sound to train your brain into not reacting. Like teaching a dog not to bark every time the mailman walks by. Third, Tinnitus Activities Treatment, or TAT. It's a more holistic mix, coping strategies, reframing, and lifestyle changes. Sometimes patients even keep a tinnitus diary to see what makes things better or worse. And finally, Progressive Tinnitus Management, PTM. This is Henry's own baby, a stepped care system. You start with education and self-help, and if things are really bad, you move up to more intense professional care. No overkill, just the level of support you need. Now at this point, you might be thinking, cool, but will this actually shut the noise off? And the honest answer is, usually not. The goal isn't to make tinnitus vanish like an Avengers villain, it's to get to habituation. That's when your brain tunes it out so it stops messing with your mood, sleep, and sanity. Think of it like living next to a train track. At first, every train wakes you up, but after a while your brain decides, meh, not worth caring about. That's habituation. And hey, while we're talking about noise, you can't escape. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, that's basically the YouTube version of tinnitus for me. I know you're watching, I know you hear me, but until you hit subscribe, I'll just keep buzzing in your head. So save us both and click that button. All right, back to business. Here's the real takeaway from the Tinnitus book. Tinnitus sucks, but it doesn't have to run your life. Understanding what it is, learning the science, and finding the right tools, whether that's CBT, TRT, TAT, PTM, or just good lifestyle habits like sleep, exercise, and stress management, can put you back in control. You don't have to sit there wishing for silence. You can build a life where tinnitus fades into the background, like a boring coworker you eventually stop paying attention to. So if you're dealing with it, don't lose hope. Get informed, find a solid clinician, and start experimenting with what works for you. And if nothing else, at least now you know, that ringing in your ears doesn't mean you're haunted. It just means your brain has questionable taste in background music.